Greetings, Mason Storm here. Sometimes you gotta use weird flours to make things. Today I'm using whole spelt to make deep dish pizza because I had a pizza craving and deep dish is the way to go with whole spelt. So to begin with, I have 2 teaspoons of honey, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of yeast, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 cup of warm water, and 3 cups of whole spelt flour. To begin with, I'm going to add my water to a bowl and the yeast and my honey. Now, if you got slow yeast, you can leave this for like 10 minutes. It'll like bubble away and that way you know it's working. But I got instant, so I'm going to add my salt, my oil, and then my flour. So then I have all my ingredients together. I'm just going to hand knead this. Now, because I'm using whole spelt, it's not going to be as gluten-y as standard white flour or all-purpose flour. So it makes it a lot trickier to kind of stretch out, and one way you can get around the problem of that is by doing deep dish. So if your dough doesn't stretch very well, just go right to deep dish and it'll hold together. Sure, your pizza might be a little bit different in consistency because of the thicker crust, but it's delicious nonetheless. So we'll just work that in for about 5-6 minutes. And then we're going to put it on a tray with a little bit of oil so it doesn't stick to the tray. And then I'm going to cover it with some plastic and a towel for good measure. And throw it into the oven, and we're just going to let that sit in there with the light on. Nice warm place for about an hour or so till it doubles in size. And then we're left with what we got here. Our dough. So I'm going to be using the old cast iron pan. I think it's the best way to do deep dish is cast iron. We're going to put oil on the bottom so that we can actually get the pizza out of it and it tastes a little bit better as well. And then we're going to do our toppings, but first our sauce. Sauce, cheese, toppings. Go out as close as you can to the edge because everything drifts to the middle when you make it. And then we're going to throw it in the oven. The oven's going to be nice and hot. I got mine at 450 degrees. Any hotter than that, my light bulb starts to blow up. So that's why I keep it lower, but hotter is better. And the way you tell your pizza's done is by the color of the cheese when it's in the oven. Once it starts to kind of go orangish and kind of cook down, you know it's probably good to go and time to take it out. If you leave it a little bit longer than that, it kind of gets burnt and it's really not as good. So there is kind of a fine line. And that's probably the big thing to know when it comes to making pizza is just to keep an eye on it and not let it get out of control. Either way, that's it for this one. So please like and subscribe. And until next time, stay awesome.